All right, welcome back, guys. We're here with Imagine Blue Crew, and we're going to talk about one of the most recent Disney Plus Marvel shows, and that is Moon Knight.
Moon Knight.
We're hot off the heels of the finale, and
Yeah, it's gonna be a spoiler review.
Yeah, we have some things to say.
Spoiler review.
Yeah, thoughts.
We do.
Quickly, I didn't like the ending. Straight up.
Yeah.
Just the ending.
Yeah.
It's weird because at first I was thinking I enjoyed it more than the other ones, but then I realized I feel like they balance each other. Like there's certain things I like, certain
Yeah.
things I dislike. So
The bar is not too high as far as
it's
how we feel
unfortunate.
about these shows. And I just want to bring up, like, we already talked about like our problem with all the Disney Plus Marvel shows
Yes.
before, where like a
Yeah.
big thing is like the pacing and
It's off, yeah.
like the tension
Yeah.
and like the importance of like the issues at hand.
We
right?
can be more specific now that we're talking
Yeah.
about Moon Knight. I
It's-
love the first two episodes, by the way. I think the first two episodes were really good.
Yeah.
In introducing the
yeah.
character.
Oscar Isaac's great. His performance, he kills it every time, which is, I mean, I love him.
I did. Okay, second episode I can agree. The first episode I just felt it was a little bit too confusing for me. For the first one I felt like it was too random, and then
Well, it's like a pair. Like you sort of get the context in the second episode.
It actually played out exactly how I thought it was going to play out, with Moon Knight coming out at the very, very end. I was like, yep, I was expecting this.
yeah.
But also, I feel like another thing we also brought up in our previous video is that like the stakes, like they seem like unclear, like how high they are sometimes. Because it's like
Yeah.
the characters will spend like waste a lot of time doing other stuff. That kind of feels like it's taking
Yeah.
away from getting into finding the solution to the problem. And it's funny because there was two very meta moments in the last episode where Steven comes out as Moon Knight to negotiate with Khonshu, saying like, hey, I want to come out sometimes. And Khonshu says like, you would negotiate now with so much at stake? And I'm like, seriously, there's no time. Like, Harrow's gonna bring back Amit.
Yeah.
And then another time, when Taweret is about to like use Layla as an avatar, and then she's like doing all this like cutesy
Oh,
stuff,
man,
and
I
then
hated that.
and like there's just like whole back and forth, and like Layla literally says, are we gonna do this? And I'm like, yes, are we gonna do this? They're just talking, like they're wasting so much time. I was like, this is meta. It's actually kind of funny that the characters are saying these things because it is ridiculous. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't give them an out. Like, come on
Yeah.
now.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
one big issue with Moon Knight, and that's what I've kind of noticed at the ending, was that there wasn't really a clear want for the character, right? Because it seemed like because we have Mark and then we have Steven, right? And in theory, they're both two characters. And Mark, like what he wants, obviously, is just to, finish what Khonshu wants for him, which is to stop
Harrow,
Harrow, basically, yeah. So that's what he wants, but it's not like it doesn't really feel too personal. And then Steven just seemed like he wants to live his normal life. Like it was just sort
just
of
kind
a
of
weird.
along for
It was just
the
kind of weird for a ride. So like, especially because at the ending, or at least the beginning part of the beginning part where Steven, for the last episode where Mark is at the that like nice place where everything, and they're saying, oh, you finally have peace. It's like the problem with that whole, and that's supposed to be like a character arc where the character was struggling something, and this is what they need. The problem with why that doesn't work is that we never see it. Like that's not what he wanted. Like we knew that was his goal, so it just seemed like it almost seemed like a distraction. There was like no point of that scene. It doesn't feel any emotional resolve. It doesn't feel like any
a lot of those therapy scenes, I was bored out of my mind. It was just like, why did they insert the Harold therapist scene with Mark or Steven at this moment?
In the fourth
sometimes
you're talking about the fourth episode?
in all of them, all of the later half,
All
like
of
they would just
them.
have inserts of it, randomly. I'm like, why put it at this moment? It feels like, to me, it felt like, oh, we recorded this scene, we filmed this scene. Yo, it's a cool scene. Let's put it at this moment. Let's edit it in here. I'm like,
Yeah.
it does not make sense here. Or
Yeah. I think you said it was like a distraction, it felt like.
It
'Cause
felt like
that's
it was-
very valid. Like that's I think you hit
Chuka
the,
said it was a distraction.
Yeah, it feels like you're hitting the nail on the head, because it's like, if you take the parts of this story that's like treating it as like a character study, like those, I like those parts, but it doesn't, completely mesh with like the overall like cosmic threat. Like it never did. It like, never. There was no like good transitions between like those two things. I think as a character study, it's great. I think Oscar Isaac acted his heart out, and it's great.
Yeah, I
But
loved his acting.
It felt like the cosmic threat part was like shoehorned in like that was the distraction.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the better parts of the show were the parts where we see like Oscar Isaac perform and we see like a little bit of like his background as a character.
Yeah.
With the little that I knew about Moon Knight, I knew very little about him, but like going into the show, I was kind of hoping it would be more of like a smaller story. And I was hoping that as I was watching the show, my prediction was that a lot of what we were seeing is going to be in his mind because like he's a mentally disturbed character. And I was just like, oh, he's kind of just like making up these Egyptian gods.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're not real. And like even the suit, the way that it's like a toned down CGI compared to what we're used to in the Marvel universe, I was expecting, oh, like he's imagining this suit. And it maybe it looks different from how it is.
Some wild expectations, bro.
Well, no, but it's not. He has a fair point because even in the comics, that's kind of the question whether or not
what's happening is real or not.
That's the point.
Yeah,
that's the purpose of it.
That's a lot of what
I sort of never got that,
is.
like ever from the show.
Exactly, which is a disappointment. I was kind of like, once they introduced the therapy stuff, I was like, oh, okay, like this is where they're going, and then they kind of like put that away, where it's like, oh no, the therapy stuff is made up. And the other stuff is real.
Yeah.
And it was like a huge tonal shift too, because it's like we were kind of also expecting maybe like more action in the show. But it was like there was whole scenes where people were fighting, but we never saw it because something else was happening. So I was like, okay, this isn't like really an action show at this point. There was like one good like kind of action sequence at the end, and then like everything else I can't even really remember. I think was it Harrow? It was like Amit and Khonshu were fighting. And the whole time we're concentrated on Layla talking to Taweret, and like we didn't see the outcome of the fight, and it was like I was like, what is happening right now?
Yeah, and that fight with Harrow and all the other avatars.
Okay, yeah. Oh yeah, we didn't see a single frame of fight,
and they all died.
That's the same scene. That's just,
we're talking about the same scene.
where they didn't show anything.
Dude, how did he take out all the avatars so easily?
Well,
I think
they said that they weren't
them,
really just because they're gods doesn't mean they're like warriors, right? So it doesn't mean like they know how to fight.
They also can't tell when someone's lying.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, that's another thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
You guys know me.
Yeah.
I hated that.
Yeah.
That was my biggest gripe. I was like,
that was bad.
Big council of Avatar gods. Yeah. And they can't even tell that this one dude who's literally at a dig site right now trying to trying to find.
They didn't see that he just walked in from outside.
That was a stupid moment.
That was the stupidest moment ever.
They had that initial.
I agree with you in this context because we didn't see any cool deaths like we did in Multiverse.
Yeah.
When they had that initial like council where they're judging Khonshu and Harrow, it's like, so Khonshu has this accusation that Harrow is trying to bring back Amit, and then they bring in Harrow, and it's like, nah, I'm not. It's like, cool. It's like, we believe you, okay?
Yeah.
Why do you just believe him? When
it was poorly written, super dumb.
Yes, and
just standing before, I hate seeing that now in like media, is like standing before a council and deliberating before you actually take action to do anything about the threats involved. Like,
one of the
another
things
waste of time.
I kept hearing, like, a lot of people consider the 5th episode to be like a really great episode, and
I actually kind of liked it.
The episode where we see the backstory.
Yeah, the backstory.
I think the backstory was good.
Yeah, the backstory part.
I liked it, but my frustration was that we had one more episode after that.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, the whole time I was like, can we get back to the story? Because there's only one more episode, and I feel like if this was a more fleshed out season of television, I would have been able to enjoy episode 5 for what it was. Yeah. But the whole time I was watching, I was like, okay, are we gonna get like the third personality? Anything about that? Are we going to get anything about what is happening with Khonshu?
Yeah, and they did like the end credit thing.
With Jake
the 6th
Lockley?
episode?
Yeah.
That was, I don't know.
That was their way of answering that question.
But they
are we
had
getting any of
throughout the whole show.
I know, that's why the pay up for that. I mean, I hated the ending, and then I saw that, and I was like, I guess it's not as bad because they answered some of it, but at the same time, it's not that great of a resolution.
Yeah, I agree that they're like that episode. I felt some of that too, like kind of a little bit of like lingering anxiety of like there's only one more episode and we haven't seen
and we're just like watching his
anything
backstory.
dealing with like Harrow yet or like Amit.
Yeah.
So I understand where you're coming from.
It was definitely a good backstory.
It was a great
good.
episode.
It was good.
Without any context.
Yeah.
It's a good episode, but I get it. Like you have that like one episode left feeling, like that anxiety of like I hope. Like you're putting all of your hopes and dreams on that last episode, basically.
Okay,
Yeah.
I hope I don't get canceled for this, but like for that 5th episode, I was just like,
Canceled.
I was just like, you just get beat, like, dude. Asian kids get beat all the time, like, like.
No, it was a little more than that, dude.
Yeah, it was more like I hate you for killing your brother, and I'm gonna.
Yeah, because after you get, I'm with you, but your mom gives you like a plate of mango after, and that's how they say sorry.
Okay, yeah, okay.
He was not getting plates of mangoes. Like
he had a dad, very nice dad.
Yeah, but I mean, he also was harboring like the guilt.
No,
of,
I get
like,
it. It's trauma for sure. Like,
Yeah.
I was also, you know, like I got whipped by hangers and stuff. I get it.
But by belts.
Yeah.
I got
Okay.
belts.
Yeah, we got belts.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got belts.
We get it. We get it.
Dang, this is getting dark.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I got the back scratcher, but
I don't want to diminish it. I don't want.
Yeah.
I was just. It was a joke. It was supposed to be a joke. That's what.
Did
That's
you see
what.
that? Did you guys see that TikTok there? My mom drops a TV on me. Anyway,
we're ending this like by this generation though. We will never. We're not gonna perpetuate that.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
what we're
for
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely not. Definitely not. Definitely.
don't cancel.
We were raised by immigrants, okay?
Yeah, and you know that stops now at our generation.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
It was a different
Anyways,
time.
my bad.
Sorry about that. Back to your regular scheduled program.
Episode 5 for sure. I still thought it was good. You know, like I felt it. I could relate in some ways, like we talked about, and then they went back to the stuff. I felt like that was stronger in story than all the God stuff, in my opinion.
oh yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
Absolutely.
It doesn't make a lot of this is like, and I don't want to keep like bringing it back to this, but I can't help but think like, okay, how does this now connect with everything that we've been seeing in Phase 4?
We're still
with
having these conversations.
Celestials,
because,
and we have.
I don't even think
Thor.
about that anymore. I'm just like,
Yeah.
they don't know what they're doing.
Thor is gonna be with Zeus in the next Thor movie. We have the TVA. All of this stuff is like, okay, what is going on? Like,
Yeah,
why are there gods?
it's
Why are
just a
there
mess,
Egyptian
dude.
gods?
It's just a mess.
Yeah, and like quality wise too. Remember we were talking about how like a lot of the action was corny and a lot of the CGI was like pretty bad in the first couple episodes, and you were like, oh, maybe it's all in his head. We know
Yeah.
now that
It's not.
it's not, and it was just bad.
It was
Like,
bad. It's
yeah,
like,
and there was a lot of like shaky camera work. I know that was like a style choice, but like almost too
which,
much.
if you
sometimes.
wanted to do, I feel like it would have been a smart thing. Like, if you wanted to have, like, we don't want to spend as much money on this show just because it's a show, you could have had that, like, okay, this is like a lot of this is happening in his mind, and then you like pan to the real world, and we have him with this like handmade Moon Knight suit that looks raggedy, and he's actually going out and beating up criminals. Like, that would have
That'd
been
be cool.
interesting.
I'm curious. So,
You know.
would you prefer the ending to be like almost where you don't know at all? Would you prefer that kind of thing where it's like we don't know at all and it's just kind of a tricky
No, because of how short the season
Yeah, that
is.
is.
I would not have liked that. Also because of the ambiguity with when we're seeing him next.
Yeah.
So it was just so bad that you wish it was all fake.
Yeah.
That would have been
well-
a better ending.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to mention something about the ending again. It's another critique, obviously. And then it's the moment where it's like, Khonshu was like, "Oh, Mark, kill him. You know, we got to prevent Amit from being released again." It's like, no,
Yeah.
I'm a hero now. I'm a killer.
Again,
Like,
it didn't feel any earned. This goes back to what I mean about the character wanting emotional arc. It just doesn't feel earned at that point. It just
It
seems like-
doesn't even. It's not even earned. It's just like it doesn't make sense with the character at all. He's
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. That's what
You've
it means.
been going through this entire journey to stop this guy, and then now you're finally here, and you're suddenly swayed by this false sense of heroism, but it's not really heroism.
Exactly.
It's just like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense. It's sort of like that hero thing that I really hate. That like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna kill, but it made no sense for me.
Yeah,
It didn't make sense.
Makes
at the moment.
no sense
because
whatsoever.
he's a mercenary who has killed people before.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And-
plenty that were lower than him.
Exactly.
You know?
It would have been fine if it was earned.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if he
you're
actually
saying,
had
like
a
if we
change.
saw him take
Like, if he actually had
like
a,
actionable steps to get there, it would have
Yeah.
felt satisfying.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
for his character, it made zero
Yeah.
Exactly.
sense.
You know what?
Yeah.
You know what I think it is. I think it's like they're trying to show that Steven is having an influence on Mark, where I think it should have been more balanced. I think that they should have had an
But
influence on each other.
here's the thing. They literally just previously killed a whole bunch of people, like to get to
Yeah,
him. Like
yeah.
it makes no sense, and they were just
Wait, were they
henchmen.
dead?
Yeah, they were
They were
dead.
dead
They were
after
dead.
Jake Lockley took over. I think. I don't think they died
Yeah,
until then.
remember they
Really?
Yeah.
they passed out and then they woke up again and they were like, well, didn't they literally say like we'll deal with that later or something like that? Like, let's just go. Like, no, that literally happened.
Interesting. I felt like some people were dying. At least that's the way I
they
saw
weren't.
it.
I don't think they were the ones killing them though. But it's still not earned. I
Yeah.
still agree that it's not earned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mark should have been fine with killing Harrow. The character that we've seen.
Yeah, it was dumb.
And we should have. I think it would have been better if Steven kind of got influenced by Mark a little bit to be
And
like
he did it.
to. That would have been interesting.
That would have been way more interesting.
Because Steven is this whole like pacifist character,
Yeah.
who's like you can't hurt anybody for anything, and it's like we're trying to stop an evil guy from killing half the planet. I think you can kill some people.
I know. I think you can kill some people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Just kill that guy.
Or kill at least
Harold,
just that
like,
guy.
geez.
Yeah.
Oh
You should
my
be fine
God.
with that, but it's
Especially since you're gonna do it later as a different personality.
Yeah.
I don't know if like maybe word came down the chain that like we do want a season 2, which maybe like might have affected like the way they wrote the story, because it kind of seems like there should be a season 2, even though like you guys were saying Oscar Isaac doesn't want to do a season 2.
I don't know. I don't know if
I want to
that's
see
true.
more from him,
But I think what the situation is, I think we're definitely going to see Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight again. I just don't know if it's going to be in a season 2. I don't think that they're planning on doing a season 2 of the show. I know that they've nominated it for Emmy consideration under limited series, not a continuous series. And
Nomination for what?
Emmy nomination, Emmy consideration.
Oh.
So they nominated it for limited series, which you can't do that and then like create a season 2
Yeah.
after doing that. At least not with like issues, I would assume. So yeah,
if they don't win the award, can they still do a season 2?
maybe.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
But yeah, I overall, Marvel needs to stop with these 6-episode seasons of shows. It's not working. It's not working, in my opinion.
Yeah, which is not to say like it can't work. There's plenty of good limited series.
Yeah, I think it could definitely work.
it could.
Like
it's
some
just
things,
not working
The
for
way
them.
that they're doing it, it's not working.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what
things
it
can
is.
be done in like an episode and still be really good.
Sure, like Chernobyl is what, 6 episodes?
I
It's
know,
one of the
that's
best
always the
shows
example.
ever created.
I don't think it's the number. I really think it's just them like wasting episode time.
Yeah, the way that
Yeah.
they do it, it's just not good. They don't know how to pace it out properly. They don't know how to utilize the time that they have for us. Because like we're all this time we're focused on what the goal that they put in front of us is, and every time that they don't like bring us closer to that, we're kind of stuck being like, okay, are we gonna
Yeah.
get a resolution to this
True.
issue?
Yeah.
We are suspended in anxiety. That's how I
Yeah.
felt in episode 5 too, a little bit.
Yeah.
Even though it was a great episode, like I concede.
Oh, yeah,
That's a good
that's a
episode.
good
They
phrase.
couldn't- they-
Suspended in anxiety.
Yeah, that would
We
have been the
are.
perfect time to give us some more breadcrumbs about Jake Lockley. That would have been the perfect time to do it, but they decided not to. Like, come on, like
Yeah. Believe us, we want to like this show.
yeah.
We wanted to, but
I like it. I just
mean,
know
I-
it's not good, and I can like some. I can like trash
I can
stuff,
find
right?
some enjoyment
Yeah,
in it. That's
you
a
can.
better way to describe it. I can find some enjoyment of it, but
Just love
overall,
Oscar
it's like,
I want to like more of these Marvel.
yeah, I would love, I would want to love it, and I can't love it.
Yeah.
Performances were good. Oscar Isaac was good. Ethan Hawke was good. I think it's kind of a waste that they like treat
Yeah.
his character as such and then killed him.
Yeah.
I do
Why did
like
they have
Ethan
to
Hawke.
give? Why did they have to give Layla powers?
I don't know.
That
She was
didn't
cool.
make- She was cool, but I feel like I feel like her suddenly getting powers at the end didn't make a lot of sense.
They just shoehorned another like hero in because she is an existing.
That's another
Marvel
thing. Sorry, you brought me
now.
up. Now they brought her powers. How did you feel about her, the Moon Knight and the final villain like fighting? Like, when you think that the villain should, you think he should be able to handle both of them, or that they should easily be able to overthrow him? Because
I think Moon Knight should have been able to take him out easily. But,
Yeah.
I don't know. They didn't.
The power scaling made no sense.
Yeah, that I was wondering. But
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I can say is that villain's had experience, because he said he used to be supposedly he was
He was
conscious
Khonshu's
That's
for his thing. So
But
at
he
first
also,
I was in disbelief, like, how does he know how to fight? But then I remember, okay,
Yeah, but he also has glass in his sandals. Which,
Yeah, but he's used to it. So.
which they never actually
Yeah.
addressed again.
Yeah.
They didn't say
Yeah.
It's like kind of a religious thing, right? Like the same people that like whip themselves. That's like
Yeah.
a thing. It's a
Yeah.
cultist thing.
But it didn't.
What was the purpose of like the big gods fighting? I just felt like it was. there's no
Yeah,
reason
they just
for it.
had to have a kaiju fight.
yeah.
At the end.
Kaiju
I love a
fights.
creature feature.
Like it had zero consequences. Just
I like Amit's design. Love an alligator.
Yeah, man.
Or a crocodile, whatever she was.
I also think that the gods are stupid.
They are.
Yeah.
Like
dumb.
like those two arguing, like there's like such a simple
Yeah.
solution. Like you guys are gods. Why can't you think of this? Like just kill the person right before they do the crime. Like can't you do that instead of judging them way beforehand, like, as a baby, or
I don't
judging
know
them
if they
after the
can.
fact?
I think Amit's powers are limited, which
All the gods' powers are limited, dude.
yeah,
They seem pretty strong. Like
They looked good. Khonshu looked good. I loved his character design.
yeah.
can't you just hold their hand and be like, okay, when that moment comes, the energy will dispel. I don't know.
There's also a lot of ambiguity, like how many times, like it's not like Khonshu just goes around killing people who've done wrong, even though that's supposed to be his thing.
Yeah, it's unclear what Khonshu does outside of like Amit,
Yeah.
right? Like we don't really know.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
Like
but
the whole thing is like Khonshu does it after they do the wrong, but does he?
I
like,
think
have we
so.
ever-
I mean, that's what Mark agreed to, and that's also what
But like,
Harold seems
are you
to
just like
think.
killing in random people? Like, how are you deciding
yeah,
this?
was Amit already a factor the first time Khonshu inhabited Mark's body? Do you know that?
Was Amit what?
Was Amit already a threat
A threat.
the first time Mark met Khonshu?
Oh, I don't know.
That's unclear. And like,
Yeah,
if she
that's
wasn't a threat, what were they doing? Like
Yeah.
being
Oh, they-
mercenaries?
Yeah, they were just there. No, there he was just.
That just wasn't clear.
Yeah, I what I got from it, he was just like taking out people who did wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, that was his mission.
Okay.
Just take all these people out who need punishment. And that's his whole purpose. And Amit was arguing with Khonshu, saying like, "Oh yeah, we want the same thing, but just kill them right before they do the
Sure.
crime."
Yeah, she was a bigger threat, I guess.
Like if Amit has the ability to know if someone's about to do a crime, like at a certain point, then just tell that to Khonshu, and Khonshu can just kill them at the right moment.
They should have been working together. Yeah.
I don't know. They're gods. Like I feel like they have so much power. Why can't they think of these things that are so simple?
So they're out of touch.
It's-
They're out of
It's a
touch. They're
weird-
gods.
Yeah, it's a weird characterization of like, okay, what is a god in the Marvel universe?
I mean, to be honest, we should have questioned their intelligence when, for example, when the Kanji was all like, "Oh, the idiot is returned." And I'm just thinking that moment where it's like, he clearly does not know what he's doing. Somebody just take over his body and just let him do it. Why does he have to make him drive a car? But the whole point's to show the difference, to show like his, there's something else going on. But like stuff like that made me question, like, bruh, like, do something,
Like,
like,
Khonshu, just take over.
yeah, just do it.
Just do it.
He's an idiot, so whatever.
Well, why don't you just do what you need to do?
Exactly. So yeah,
It's so weird that the whole
yeah.
power thing is so weird because he can move the sky, he can make people,
Yeah.
make them fly. There's so many things that they can do, and then there's so many things they
That they
can't do
can't
for
do.
whatever
Yeah.
reason.
Because they're the god of this or that.
Yeah,
but
there's no
not
rules.
everything.
There's no set rules, and for me personally, I feel like
there
it
were
makes it harder to
rules.
enjoy.
There were rules in the MCU before Phase 4, and now
Here we
it's
go.
like, I don't know what the rules are. Like, because you remember back in the day when they were like, oh yeah, no, everything that you don't understand as magic is just it's science that you don't know yet. Like Doctor Strange is tapping into
Multiversal energy.
multiversal energy. Thor is an alien. He's not really a god. He's an alien from a more advanced world. It's like all of these stuff, like there were rules and we understood it. And then now we have Celestials, we have TVA, we have Egyptian gods.
There's
we have
witchcraft, which is different from magic.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, that's comic book lore for you.
I was about to say, they're leaning into like more comic book stuff.
But this is why comic books have to be reset every now and then. Like, this is the reason why.
That's kind of true, yeah.
Yeah,
you know.
they're letting it run away from them or jump the shark.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
All right. Well, that was our therapy session for Moon Knight.
Yeah.
You know, if you guys loved it, let us know.
Moon Knight
'Cause,
season 2.
you know, these things
I just want to see
we
more
really
Oscar
do
Isaac.
want to like these shows, and clearly one of us does.
It's okay to like trash things.
Yeah, exactly. So let us know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Yeah.
Peace.